Before I begin this review, I'd like to give a big thank you to Lauren Grieve, Ian Hopwood, and Laura Kate for graciously gifting me this copy of Fez. Together, these three run the bi-weekly Year of Steam podcast, where they review games from their Steam backlog. If you like my work, I highly recommend checking out the podcast as it is very similar, and these three are simply fantastic people. You can find them on iTunes or at Year of Steam Pod on Twitter. If nothing else, Fez is one of the most relaxing games I've ever played. There is no combat, death only sets you back a few seconds, and the puzzles, while challenging, are meant to be played at your own pace. Altogether, this creates one of the most serene experiences I've played through in a long time. While I might not have mainlined the game like I did with Dark Souls, Shovel Knight, or Fallout, Fez's calming atmosphere kept me coming back, especially after stressful days. The story, for what it's worth, is that a mysterious cube is shattered in your two-dimensional world, granting you a Fez with the power to control the third dimension. As such, it is now your job to collect all the pieces of the cube and bring 2D order back to the world. Once established, the story takes a back seat, allowing the player to jump right into the puzzle solving. However, there is one, let's call it a visual gag, near the beginning that freaked me the hell out, and I still can't tell you exactly what the point of it was. Gameplay-wise, Fez works like most other 2D platformers. You use the directional buttons to move and the spacebar to jump. What makes Fez stand out, however, is your ability to control the environment. By using the A and D keys, you can turn the world to the side, giving you access to new areas and platforms. Not only that, but this perspective shift also allows for previously disconnected elements of the world to take on new forms that can help you progress. For example, two disconnected letters might become a unified whole once you look at them from a different angle. While the logic of this breaks down when you apply any thought to the idea, it still remains an interesting and, more importantly, fun mechanic that is put to good use throughout the game. Unfortunately, there is one major flaw that holds the game back: navigation. While the in-game map does show you what areas you've been to and how many paths there are connected to your current location, it doesn't show you how to access most of them. Often this made heading back to a previous area a chore, as I'd have no idea if I was going back the way I came, backtracking to an already cleared puzzle room, or heading off to a new area altogether. While my annoyance is tempered somewhat by the constant amusement each new area provides, I still can't overlook how frustrating it is finding my way back to the starting area after only a few hours. Even with the fast travel system, navigation remains the game's biggest blemish, as you can only warp to and from certain locations. The music mostly serves to establish atmosphere, but there's a certain beauty to it. Much like Akira Yakaoma's work on the Silent Hill games, I wouldn't listen to the game's soundtrack on its own, but I can't imagine playing the game while listening to anything else either. In fact, I tried playing the game while listening to one of my podcasts or YouTube playlists, but it just wasn't the same. To be fair though, Death Angel and Creator were probably not what Phil Fish had in mind when designing the game. All in all, I really enjoyed Fez. I may not play it as regularly as other games, but knowing that this is in my Steam library and I can keep going back to it makes me very happy. If you haven't played this yet, I absolutely think you should give it a look. And remember, if you like this review, you can find the rest of my work over at poormansgeek.wordpress.com.